I thought we did a good job defensively. I think that's what led the way today. We got some good looks and did some good things offensively too, but I thought our effort today was led by what we did defensively, especially in the first half. And then as we came out in the second half, I thought we did a good job of being intentional about trying to outperform the first half versus seeing how fast the clock would run. And so that was a point of emphasis for us. But there's no doubt our defense led the way today, and it allows you to have a chance when you play on the road, when you defend like that. So I was really happy with our effort that way. And then again, like I said, we made some bonehead plays defensively in the second half. We fouled 2 3-point shooters, and it was a little sabotage that seemed like it was going on out there. But overall, I was really happy with the effort. It's a big win against a good team, and one of our better wins of the season.
Questions? John?
Y'all held a good shooting 3-point Ole Miss team to 3 of 16 from 3. Was there a key to that?
Yeah, our effort and determination. We had on our board, you always write up the things that are, you think are important. Sometimes you feel like you're writing the same stuff up there. Oftentimes you are. You tweak it from one game to the next, and it's all these detailed things about the scouting report. This guy likes to dribble between his legs, and then he goes left, and then he shoots step-back jumpers. And there was not much of that on today's board. It just was all about the basic stuff, the basic stuff that has allowed us to have, success. And so we went back to some of that. I think just playing basic rules, trying really hard. Tried really hard. Zach came out of the gates. I thought he was unbelievable. His energy defensively, he was trying really hard and in a very disciplined manner. It's hard to do that. It's hard to be Speedy Gonzalez and then also be Slowpoke Rodriguez in your mind, and so he was frantic in terms of his energy and his effort and his determination, but he was very solid in terms of processing what was in front of him, where the ball was when this particular screen was happening. So that determines his route. And so you have to do that. You can't just go blindly into the screen. I thought he's led the way that way, but I thought as a general rule, we tried really hard to be intentional about performing some basic things that are basic to the DNA of our defense.
How much more satisfaction do you get out of a win like this, considering how kind of last week went for your team, dropping those last 2?
Yeah, I mean, a lot. I think this is confidence has always been very important in the minds of anyone in general, but certainly of any college-aged person that's competing in a sport of any kind. You get the yips, and you're not going to make 4-foot putts all of a sudden, even though you've made 4-foot putts since you've been 9 years old. Confidence. I think confidence is such an important thing. So I thought it was important from that standpoint because, you lose in the fashion that we did at Auburn, right? And I don't know who's in first place in the NBA. I'm not up on my NBA viewing right now, but I think they would have beat that team that day. That's not to excuse our role in what that game was, but they were really good, Auburn was, in that game. So you lose in that fashion in that game, then you lose in another fashion, which is even to your psyche and confidence more damning, because you're up 16 points in the second half and you put it on cruise control in some ways, and then you come back and you lose. And then the fashion in which we lost that game, I've just got able to move forward. And so your confidence, you can say it all you want and pretend that there's no shaking your confidence. There's a crack in your confidence if you're a 19, 20, 21-year-old college athlete. And so I thought it was really important to be able to come in here against a good team, okay? You don't trip and fall and accidentally end up with the wins that this team has had, Ole Miss. And so I thought it was really important to them for their confidence to be able to come in here under the circumstance. We're getting towards the very end of, everybody's talking about NCAA tournament. Who needs to do this to bolster their resume and all these things. To come in here and play well and win like that, I thought it was tremendously important for the confidence of these guys.
Yeah, with having the midweek off, what was a week like for you guys, and did it come kind of at the right time after those 2 losses?
Yeah, probably. I mean, it was miserable for me. I'm not going to lie to you. That was one of the hardest games for me to move forward from. It just, for whatever reason, it was hard for me to move forward. I think it was just all the things that we did that contributed to how it ended, and then the dramatic fashion in which it ended. And so, it personally was difficult to have a full week before you get to play and get that taste out of your mouth. But I think it was good for our guys. We had a long film session. There was a lot of truth telling that was going on in that film session. We try to provide an environment where that's the main thing that we can do. We can tell guys the truth, and it's not abrasive, and it's not critical. It's factual stuff. So there was a lot of truth telling in the film session, and we had a couple really good practices. We had an extra day off, so guys got rested up, and a couple guys tended to some bumps and bruises. And we had a couple really good, spirited, high-energy practices, again, that we went back to some real basics. I mean, this was probably one of our practices was probably more like a practice that we would have in August or September, than it was than in February.
Anything else for Coach? Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks.